Hello, this episode of the Weekend Chart Prep is being brought to you by the Smart Money Manuscript. Hello, my name is Timothy Lee Raj Sr., and I'm the creator of the Smart Money Manuscript. But Tim, what is the Smart Money Manuscript? The Smart Money Manuscript is your roadmap to financial freedom. Inside this powerful course designed to transform your financial future, I've meticulously condensed over 1,000 of my public YouTube videos into 40 highly efficient lessons that span just 2.5 hours. This course is strategically designed into 4 phases to help guide your learning in the most logical and effective way possible. Phase 1 lays the groundwork, covering essential financial literacy like budgeting, banking, and taxes. In phase 2, you'll move beyond the basics, learning about brokerage accounts, figuring out how much you need for your own individual retirement. You learn about how to do fundamental research on companies, and you'll also learn how to conduct technical analysis by looking at stock charts. Phase 3 empowers you to build a robust portfolio and leverage your capital using advanced techniques like options and futures, and it also teaches you the importance of backtesting your strategies. Finally, Phase 4 takes a deep dive into the advanced ICT concepts, giving you a professional edge. Each lesson includes a short quiz to help solidify your understanding. By the end of this journey, you'll have the confidence and tools that you need to make intelligent investing decisions, manage your money without fear or ambiguity. So if you want to be a long-term buy and hold investor, if you want to be a swing trader, if you want to be a day trader, if you want to trade stocks, if you want to trade options, if you want to trade futures, the Smart Money Manuscript is for you for $69.99. Yes, $69.99 for all of this here. I got the wrong background on there. I still got the background on there from when I was, what in the world? There's something in here. A doggone mosquito or something just flew in my face. Something just flew in my, I still got my background on there from when I was on there with the teenagers this weekend in the Smart Money Mentorship. Let me get myself together here, man. Y'all got me out here. Deborah got me out here slipping. Light-skinned Deborah in here got me slipping, y'all. Where's my how do you find the stuff on here? It's on, oh, there it is. Regular set. It ain't like the regular settings where you be inside the stream. There you go. There you go. Now we cook with Crisco. Y'all pulled up in here like, what's going on with the new background? That was the background for the Smart Money Mentorship for what I'm doing with the teenagers. It's a mosquito or something flying around in here. I'm sorry, y'all. He gonna drive me crazy. That was a joker fast. That can't be no mosquito. That joker too fast to be a mosquito. I don't know what that is. He too fast and he too aggressive. Nah, that ain't no mosquito. That he too fast. Mosquitoes ain't that fast. What that is. Whatever it is, it's quick. That thing so quick. All right, man. How y'all doing today, man? Hello. Man, light up a little bit. Light be I be trying to keep it not as bright. Cause when I turn it up really, really bright, it be getting real hot back here. Cause I got 4 bulbs up here. They be getting real hot. So I be trying to dim. That ain't no doggone mosquito. Whatever it is, it's mad at me. And it keep attacking me. Because it keep like flying in my face. It'd be, I don't know what it is, like something. Chris bought some groceries in today and the door was open. So whatever this is, he aggressive too. What's going on, Rhonda? What's going on, Seawalk? What's up, Deborah? Now I'm starting to itch. You see like a bug or something get on you and you get the itching. Now I'm starting to itch. I'm starting to itch now. Jesus Christ. It's gonna drive me crazy. I ain't gonna be able to do this because he attacking me, man. It's like he aggressively flying in my face. All right. Good evening, everybody. If this is your first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, please allow me to say welcome. If it's not your first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, I still want to say welcome, but I want to give you a nice hearty. Well, thank you for always tuning in to Tim's Tidbits. If you don't know who I am, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr., aka Aranya Grande. That's just Big Spot if you don't hablo Espanol. And you're now tuned to another episode of the Weekend Chart Prep / Q&A session if you have any questions. Speaking of questions, there's a link pinned to the top of the chat on YouTube. If you would like to come over and join us on Zoom, just click on the link. You'll come over. I have to let you in. You have to sit in the waiting room because we don't want no crank yankers coming over. And I'll let you in and you can join us in Zoom and you can freely unmute and you can, ask a question or share your thoughts or, whatever's on your mind, right? Shout out Rhonda Green for being the number 2 top fan, even though she was the first person to comment. Seawalk, the number 1 top fan, even though he's the second person to comment. I'm not understanding the top fan thing. I read the instructions about it, talked about something with engaging and all of that, but I really don't understand how it ranks them. But shout them out for being the number 1 and number 2 top fan on You of the Tubes. I salute you with both hands. Go ahead and share my screen, man. We're going to get to this weekend chart prep. How y'all doing, man? How's y'all weekend thus far? Hopefully y'all weekend going well, man. Hopefully your weekend is going well. Let me move y'all over here. This fan is blowing right in my face. And it's driving. Maybe if let me turn it down, so. Let me turn it down. Because it's aggressively blowing in my face. Yeah, it's a little bit aggressive. All right. That's better though. All right, man. Looking at the charty tart, right? Got it on the monthly time frame right now. It's the second week of the month. This is going to be our first full week of the month of October, but it's the second week, starting out the second week of trading here. With trading from the 6th through the 10th, right? Let's go over here and look at our economic calendar. Oh, excuse me. Look at our economic calendar for the week. Econo Day is not ready yet. I noticed last week, right, that a lot of news was saying delayed. And so I was like, is this because of the government shutdown? And then when I looked on Forest Factory, it actually said that a lot of the economic calendar data is being delayed because of government shutdowns. So some of the data is actually releasing, some of the data is being, delayed because of the government shutdown. I guess if it requires, if it requires somebody to actually be there doing something, then I guess it's delayed. But because some of it say delayed and some of it doesn't. Now, I just want to point this out real quick. You see how these datas are saying like delayed, right? So That means this information ain't coming out. But on something like non-farm payroll, something that's going to create a spike, jobless claims that create spikes sometime too, right? Even though it's saying delayed, we still saw like little spikes in price at these times, right? So that lets you know all this right here is just smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. Because at that time, the market still spiked at that time right there. So why, if that information is delayed, why is the market spiking at that exact time? Things to make you go, Things to make you go, Yep. Don't let them fool you. No, no. Da 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 da. Or even try to school you. Oh yeah. From the 6th through the 10th. So, um, next week, okay, we don't have any red folder news. We got Wednesday, we got FOMC minutes that's coming out. We have some employment data coming out on Friday. All right. We got NFP. Last week wasn't for payroll. What was last week? We got NFP coming up this Friday. What was last week? PCE? Was it PCE last week? What was last week?
It should have been
Non-farm.
NFP. It was the first Friday of the month.
Yeah, non-farm payroll right there. So I guess they pushed it back to this week here, right there. Right here. I guess they pushed it back to this week here because it was delayed. So yeah, I'm assuming that's why here, because they showing it for Friday the 10th. Yes, they showing it for Friday the 10th. So I'm assuming since it was delayed, that I'm guessing that's why it's showing for next week. Then we got consumer sentiment again, because last week we had, I thought we had consumer sentiment this week. Am I tweaking? NFP was over here. Job claims, construction spending. I guess not. Oh, consumer confidence. That's what it was. Okay. Consumer confidence. I'm like, I know I saw consumer something over there. Okay, so consumer confidence. What I saw, what I was remembering over there. Okay, so they pushed this NFP stuff here. All right. They pushed this NFP stuff over to next Friday as of now. And it says tentative for NFP. It's just saying tentative. I guess it said tentative because I guess it's still contingent on government shutdowns and stuff. Just like this factory orders right there says tentative. Unemployment claims says tentative. All right. So let me see. Put this up. I said, y'all got to get out my way. Y'all in my way. Yeah, y'all can't see that, but that little box was like getting on my nerve. It was like blocking me. I couldn't see stuff. Little box. And it's crazy that y'all can't see it, but like it's a box. Like I just moved. It's a box right where I'm moving my mouse. I'm moving my mouse around a box right here. And it's crazy because y'all can, like, when I look over there on the screen, I can see that y'all looking at something. I can't make out what it says, but all y'all see is like new stuff right here. But I just see a big box right there that's in my way. Get out of my way. Right. So, all right, this right here says tentative RS RCM RCM economic optimism. All right, let me see if that's over here somewhere that got delayed. Or if it's just something else. I'm just trying to. I'm in a rabbit hole right now. Y'all don't pay no attention to me. It's right here. It says, nah, I don't see it over here nowhere. Yeah, I don't see it over here nowhere. Yeah, I don't see this over here nowhere. Construction spending, fact, vehicles, employment. Okay, yeah, nah, I don't see none of that. So NFP is the only thing that I see over here that was actually on the delayed list. This NFP is the only thing that I saw that was actually on the delayed list that's showing up over here again. And okay, makes sense because it's a monthly thing that got delayed. So they just pushing it back a week, maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to figure that out. My head's starting to hurt now. Let's go over here. That's the news for next week. So FOMC minutes on the 8th at 2. All right, that's the minutes. That's what changed. They look at what the verbiage and stuff that changed because they read in the minutes from the last FOMC meeting, and they just looking at what verbiage changed from meeting to meeting when they release those minutes, right? Then you got unemployment numbers on Thursday as normal, and Fed chair speaking around the same time at 8:30. It's crazy because they got it as an orange folder when Powell's speaking. That's usually a red folder. And then NFP and consumer sentiment and inflation expectations on Friday, right? Again, NFP say tentative and 10 a.m. consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. All right, that's the news right there. That's what I saw on here. U.S. government data may be impacted by shutdown. Tentative events are subject to delays, revisions, or cancellations. Right there. That's what I saw it on here. I didn't see it on Econo Day, but I saw it on Forex Factory last week. Because I'm like, man, is this data being delayed? Is it because of the government shutdown? I had asked that question in Tremaine's stream, and then I went and looked it up, and I saw it. Monthly chart, right? We had 3 days of trading thus far in the month of October. Right. We opened up and we traded above the monthly high thus far over those 3 days. Right. So we've opened up and we've taken out the monthly high. Right. Thus far. Nothing much to talk about on the monthly chart right now, outside of the fact that we are very extended. We're at a very high premium, right? If we look at our monthly dealing range here, the current monthly dealing range that we're in the extreme premium, right? If we look at from above the balanced price range, we're still in extreme premium, right? Coming from this low up to that high, extreme premium, right? So we're in a premium overall. So from now, we're just going to focus from above the balanced price range, right? Above this BISI right here. Where is it? I keep forgetting when I got my fancy dance on, I can't do it. All right, so we closed at 94.50, open here at 89.50, right? Yeah, okay, so going above this imbalance, right at the low that's leaving this balance price range. And that puts us in an extreme premium where price closed at. So this is equilibrium right here around this horizontal line at 24,000 even, right? So 24,000 even is the equilibrium of our short-term dealing range on the monthly chart. Like I say, this is our entire dealing range here. And looking at from when we leave the balanced price range, right? Right there, our short-term dealing range, latest expansion leg, however you want to look at it, 24,000 even is equilibrium or fair value. And we closed at 24,982 even. So we're extremely expensive now. We're in a rich, rich, rich premium. All right. On the weekly time frame. All right. So looking at our weekly time frame, we can see that we closed above last week's high. Last week's high, I mean the previous week's high was the monthly high, right? Because we said, we traded 3 days in the month. So this weekly calendar here, only 3 of those days are included in October, right? The first 2 are in September. So the 29th and the 30th are inside this calendar here, right? So mark out our weekly high and low, right? Last week, right? Last week we was watching this discount wick and this premium wick, right? To see if the discount wick offered support to push us up into all-time highs, and was watching this premium wick to see if we could use the quadrants of this as support to continue to take us to all-time highs, because it, since we were bullish, we weren't looking for it to stop us, right? We were looking for it to use the quadrants to go into all-time highs. Now, it didn't mean that it couldn't reject these, right? But it just wasn't giving signatures as it came into the quadrants that it wanted to started to reject. We were not seeing those signatures, right? When we look here, we were not seeing the signatures as it came through the quadrants that it wanted to reject, because we had already started to see the signatures here. We couldn't make it to consequent encroachment. We came down to the upper quadrant and started to move away. So we were seeing discount sensitivity in this wick here, right? And we were failing to see premium sensitivity in this wick here. So we were looking for these quadrants to act as support, to break through and act as support to continue to push us into all-time highs. And that's how it ended up playing out. Okay. Okay. So now we've come up, created all-time high, closed off of the high. All right. There's nothing to look up and to the left for. All right. We're at all-time highs. Coming into this week, the only premium PDR we have on the weekly chart is this wick and that high, right? That's our only premium PDR. These fair value gaps are so far away. I'm just going to hide them. I'm going to hide them because they're so far away right now. I will pay them attention once we get back into that area. I only got them showing on the weekly time frame because they were so far away. But now they're even farther away. So I'll just re-show them again once we start getting back into those areas. All right. Keep in mind this discount wick right here, right? As we go into the week. So for the weekly time frame, you're watching that premium wick
and that discount wick right there. Okay. Those are the weekly PD arrays you want to keep in mind, right? Why? There's nothing else to watch. There's no imbalances to watch. There's, we don't have it. We don't have a fair value gap that we're trading near, right? So we watched the imbalances in the form of wicks to see how price reacts at these quadrant levels. Okay. Again, we don't have anything to look at, right? Up and to the left, right? So what we can do is we can come here to our important low that we created back here in the week of April 7th, 2025, right there. We come to that low and then come back to that swing high right there. And we can see that we have come to one standard deviation, right? So we're at a nice anticipatory reactionary point on the weekly time frame, right? We have traded into a very nice anticipatory reactionary point based off of our price structure here, right? And you say, Tim, why are you picking that low right there? Because that's an intermediate turn. That's an important low. What do we look for? We look for that little happy man right there. He's a little ugly today, right? His eye is way up there. So I'm going to bring it down so it doesn't look so ugly like that. His face can look a little bit more well proportioned. That's an important low right there. He's happy because he's important, right? So you anchor it on his chin and you go back to the previous swing high. The swing is high right in front of you, so up and to the left, right? And if you're pulling it up and to the left, you want to have negative numbers inside your fib tool, and it will show you standard deviations that the algorithm will reach for in this price leg as it moves up, right? You want to see how far can this little area right here swing up, right? When you look at from that high there, you want to see how when it's like you're coming down up, it's coming down, and you want to see how far it swing. How far can it swing? How far can it swing? And so right now it has swung one standard deviation, right? So that's a pretty cool anticipatory reactionary point to be at. So now you really want to be paying attention to like what is price doing right here, right now, because we've moved one standard deviation. All right. We see here that week before last, okay, when we traded into that one standard deviation, right, we got a nice rejection off of it. Right. We got a in the middle of the road candle, not really telling you really what it want to do, right? Because the body it closed a little on the downside, but the top wick and the bottom wick the same. So it's not really giving you a full detail of like what's really going on, right? And then we open up the next week, right? And we immediately engage the buy side right here at this anticipatory reactionary point. So right, you really want to be paying attention to, hey, what is price doing at this level right here at this 24,909 even? What's really going on right there? Because that's a one standard deviation move based off of the institutional price structure on the weekly time frame, right? And again, we're looking at that fib extension right there, fib retracement tool right there, because we don't have anything to look up to the left to. We have run out of structure after we came above this all-time high right here. We have no structure to look for, so we're using algorithmic principles to see how far can the algorithm stretch up based off the institutional market structure there. All right. Now, when we get out of there, don't need that. All right. Again, we said we was in a premium, right? This was on the monthly time frame, was coming from this low right here, right? Was coming from that low to there. That's when we left this balanced price range on the monthly time frame. Okay, when we come over here and look on the weekly time frame, we can refine this now, right? Because on the weekly time frame, we got another area that's efficiently delivered there. Then we leave in that area, right? So now we can refine this on a lower time frame to give us a dealing range that we can focus on, right? If we come here to when we leave that balanced price range right there, we're still in an extreme premium based off the latest expansion leg for the weekly, right? I know you look and say, hey, Tim, that's your low right there. Yes, that's the low for right last month. This was last month's low. That was last month's high, right? We just coming into that prefabricated dealing range that the algorithm give you based off time, right? Now we're looking at it based off of price action, and based off of price action, I want to focus on this range first, because looking at this range here is going to give me the most current active price action, right? Because from focusing all the way down here, right, I'm looking at an area that the algorithm has already told me is a balanced price range, and I'm not paying attention to that for right now because I've left that area. Right now, this area right here is not on my radar because I've left it. So I want to only be focused on the area that the algorithm has on its radar at this particular time right now. And keep in mind where we are in the overall dealing range. Okay. Okay. Weekly time frame. Like we said, we got some BISIs down here, right? And that's well below price, right? That's the discount PD array. That's the premium PD array that we're keeping on our radar for right now. All right. All right. Keep it on the radar for right now, because right now we've created 2 breakaway gaps, right? A bullish order block. All right. So now we're just watching these PD arrays to see how the daily time frame, daily and intraday time frame react to these quadrant levels here. Again, in the weekly time frame, just like the monthly time frame, is in a strong uptrend, strong buy program. You know, y'all know the drill. Daily time frame, right? So on our daily time frame, again, just like the weekly, these daily PD arrays that we were watching, right? You see, we came down into the lower fair value gap, right? So this day here, we traded down into this fair value gap, right? Traded back up, then we retraced back down into this fair value gap, right? Traded back up, then we traded down into this fair value gap, right? Traded back up. So this is the start of October, right? So the start of October, we dropped down into that September 18th fair value gap, expanded up, took out the buy side, right? Come on in, Joe. This thing, I always think I'd be raising my hand. I always think I'd be raising my hand. I don't know when I put my hand up and made it think I was raising my hand, but it always do. And then once we took out that high, all right, we've come back down and traded into this BISI from the first, right? Traded down into that BISI from the first. Now, don't get confused and say, hey, look, we're coming down and respecting this wick. No, this is the wick that we're starting to watch now. Okay. When we look at the weekly chart, right? This is what we're starting to watch now. That what we looked at before, that was during this week when it traded down into it, right? So last week is when we were watching this move, like see how we came here, right? This was, let me see, Friday, Thursday, Monday, right? Came up to the high of it. I mean, the upper quadrant of that wick, traded back down, came up to the lower quadrant, right? Traded back down. Then we opened up, came down into the fair value gap, then traded up and closed above the upper quadrant, right? Then we traded up here, right? This wick don't exist yet up here, right? And then here we opened up, right? Then traded down to consequent encroachment and inside of this BISI there and closed right there on the upper quadrant. All right. So now this last week is when we was looking at how it was reacting to this. Now we've closed near it again. The PD array don't go stale. So now we're watching it again to see if we're going to start to disrespect it or if we're going to use it as support to come back up to this one, right? Or if it ain't open, market ain't open yet, so we all we can do is just say, now this one is in play. This is the first time we're going to see any price action in here, right? We see here that this one acted as resistance and then became support, right? So for these 3 days, it acted as resistance, right? We cut through it like butter. And then these 2 days here, it acted as support, right? Came back down, closed there, right? So resistance turned support, right? Now that it has turned support, will it continue to support and push us up to here? Or will we immediately blast off into this and then see how we react to that and then come back down? So if we immediately come up to this right here, right? If we immediately come up here and start coming back down, right? You want to start to eyeball this to see if this right here is going to act as a smart money reversal, right? To see if this is going to act as a smart money reversal. You immediately start eyeballing that high right there, right? Because on a daily time frame, we just completed a market maker buy model here, as we said. So we came up, completed a market maker buy model, right? And then if we immediately come up and use this wick as resistance and don't take out that high, start to come back down, then you're immediately watching that to see if that wants to act as a smart money reversal, right? And then if this acts as resistance and this fails to act as support, then you'll watch to see if this acts as resistance, right? And then you'll watch to see if we take out the prior week's low. Then you'll watch to see if we get, right? Now, if we take out this prior week's low, that'll give us a bearish breaking market structure. This right here would be the stronger move because this is when everything started, the down, the up, right? That's the stronger breaking market structure there because that's the down, that's the up. This right here is internal sell side liquidity for this range right there, right? This right here, that's your latest expansion there, right? Because with this right here, we're watching it on the weekly time frame there, right? And so for the daily, right, we can even come up to here for the daily time frame, right? Cheese and rice. I don't know where that happened. That's not right. You see that right there? That weekly high is there. When I go to the daily, that's higher than that. It's anchored here. That's not right. See, That's why I hate when it be like doing stuff like that, right? Because it's anchoring it to this Thursday high right here. We seen this one time before when it was anchoring the stuff wrong, and then we came back. It was something with a holiday, and it was mapping it out wrong. And when we came back after everything got back up and running, then the new week opening gaps was fixed again. But like right now, it's not showing correctly because I look at my weekly, right? The high isn't in sync. That high is lower than what it actually is on the daily time frame, right? Some wacky tobacco going on right there.
My high is lower too on the weekly because I was wondering why yours was so extended,
Yeah,
and it could just be my platform.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Cause when I go to the weekly like that right there, see how it's not touching when I put it on the daily high. All right, it's not touching the weekly candle when I go. Let me see what the monthly candle look like. All right, I'm gonna put a line up here off the monthly candle. Now I'm gonna go to the weekly candle. Okay, let me go back to the monthly candle. All layers. Make that fat. Now go to the weekly. All right, so on the monthly candle, it's in the same spot as the daily candle. All right, so the monthly candle is the same spot as the daily candle, but for some reason the weekly candle got something weird going on. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. We'll see. But okay, so looking at right our wait a minute. What is it? All right, so I'm going to hide these also. These old business that we were watching before. I'm going to hide those. It's on a daily time frame, right? Again, just like the weekly, all right, everything is still in a very strong buy program, all right? And if we look at all the areas, right, and move, so if we refine again, all right, if we refine again, looking at our ranges, right? So we refined the weekly to this area here, right? Looking at when we had left the balanced price range on the weekly time frame, right? And if we look at here, right, on a daily time frame, this is when we're leaving the balanced price range on the daily time frame. All right. Now the daily has done a lot more because we look here, right? When we had left, we came up and made a high there and came back down into a discount there, right? So now we can look from there to there on the daily time frame, right? So that right there for the daily time frame, that there, right? We've extended up there, right? And then also we can even refine it again because when you look here, right, we came up, came back down into a discount here, and extended up again and left this area there, right? So we can come here, right, to there, right? So for the daily time frame, right, we're looking there, and then that happens to be our what? Our prefabricated weekly dealing range that the algorithm gives us. That's the lowest low, and that's the highest high for last week, right? That's our prefabricated dealing range based off of time. And then we just you just see how we mapped out looking at our current dealing range based off of price action, right? So they're lining up at the same place for looking at on the daily chart, right? And then for our daily chart, right? we're daily time frame, we're in a slight premium, right? We're in a slight premium inside of a strong uptrend / buy program. Now for our intraday time frame, we're in a discount, right? Our intraday time frame, we're in a discount, right? Tim, what do you mean? Okay, so for our intraday time frame here, right? Price closed right there. This is our latest pre-made dealing range by the algorithm. That's our daily low. That's our daily high. We're resting in a discount of that range, right? So for our intraday time frame, we're in a discount, right? On our daily, weekly, monthly, all of those time frames, we're in a premium, right? Right, we're in a premium. Daily time frame, we've come down into that busy right there. What is that there? The first, do I have anything for the first? No, I don't. Yeah, something for the 18th, 15th. Let me clone this. Right. That's gonna be for the first of October. All right. So we traded down into that busy already, right? And we have this much that's still unfilled, right? Including the volume imbalance, right? If you don't include the volume imbalance, right, we still have this much that's unfilled. And then we have this volume balance / new day opening gap from the first that's down there, right there, right? So on the daily time frame, we have this much of the daily busy that's left that has not been repriced. And then we got new day opening gap down there. Okay. So that's what we got going on the daily time frame. And then, yeah. All right. So as we go into the intraday, we can look at how we used the BISI as support. We're going to quads. We'll stretch up this here, the actual quadrants there, right? We traded all the way down below the lower quadrant, right? Only looking at the fair value gap. If we come down and include the volume imbalance, because we came up to consequent encroachment but didn't exceed it, right? We came down and we respect consequent encroachment of the entire inefficiency, right? So from the volume imbalance up to the low of the second, we came down, did not trade down below consequent encroachment. And then we came back up and closed above the upper quadrant of the entire inefficiency. All right. Drop down to 60 minutes inside of an intraday time frame. And now we can see here, right, our intraday dealing range here. All right, as we look at our intraday dealing range there. Right here, as you see here, we're down here. We closed there in a discount. That's our high. That's our low. We're inside of a bearish dealing range on the intraday, and we're in a discount of this bearish range for our intraday time frame. Right. Everything else, when we said we was in a premium on a premium during a buy program / uptrend for the daily, weekly, monthly, everything. Intraday, we're in a discount, right? Inside a sale program for the intraday time frames, right? As we can see here, we're looking at an hourly chart right there, right? If we look at a 4-hour, on a 4-hour time frame, we are still in a buy program, but we retraced back down into that BISI right there, right? Traded back down into this BISI right here, right? So 4-hour, still respecting the buy program. Oh, I saw this right here. I want to point this out, right? I want to point this out. This is something that Michael taught. He didn't do no in-depth teaching on it, so I'm not going to try to, explain it in great detail. I'm just going to say what he said on one of his breakdown videos, right? Because I know some might be looking to say, Tim, this low took out that high, and then we traded back down below that low. Doesn't that constitute a break in market structure, a market structure shift, right? Per him, inside one of his breakdown videos for this 2025 mentorship he's been doing, this does not constitute a market structure shift because this swing low right here is inside of this imbalance. Those was his words. That swing low is inside of an imbalance. So when we trade down below that right there, that is not a market structure shift. He did not elaborate. That's just all he said. Right? That's just all he said. Now, could it have something to do with the way that I speculate in my mind? Could it have something to do with what I be saying where this right here is the stronger breaking structure because this is the true move when the elephant stepped in the pool, price moved, right? This right here, this is a little retracement back inside of a fair value gap. So when you trade down below that right there, this is where the elephant stepped in the pool. This is where the elephant started showing attentions. So when we trade back down below there, now you're doing something significant, right? You started to move, and then now you're saying, okay, I'm ready to go the other way because this is where it started. This is how I make it make sense in my mind. But he didn't give any other teachings on it. He just said that swing low inside that imbalance, when you trade below that, that's not a market structure shift. All right. Hey, I ain't got nothing else on that. Don't get mad at me. He ain't teach no more on it. Right. Plenty of stuff out there for us to sink our teeth and tooth with the concepts. Yeah, man. That's it. That's it. So 60 minute and below, right? We have come down, right? Started out a sale program inside of this bearish dealing range, and we're in a discount. So we're in a discount of a bearish dealing range on intraday, right? So if you are bearish and you're inside a bearish dealing range and you're in the discount, are you looking for reasons to sell? No, because if you're bearish, you want to be selling in a premium. All right. If you are bullish and you're looking at the bullish dealing range, we're up here in a premium. Are you looking for reasons to buy? Nope. Because if you're bullish, you're looking for reasons to buy in a discount. All right. So what does that mean starting out the week? You're waiting to see what the algorithm offer you. Well, Tim, why are we waiting? Remember, we just completed a market maker buy model. So once we complete the market maker buy model, what do we typically do? Wait to see what the algorithm wants to do next. Right? So don't go out there trying to be a hero enforcing anything. Wait on your signal rate chores. All right. Wait on your signal rate chores. I noticed that Michael had posted at least one video. I know it was at least one video that I hadn't seen. I think it might have been two. When I stopped the YouTube, my plan is to watch those videos. I know it's one, at least one, might have been two. You know what? I think it's two because I started trying to watch one either last night or night before last, but I fell asleep on the couch. So it's two videos I haven't watched. If you want to watch them videos with me, I'm about to watch them now. When I stop the YouTube, I'll still be in the Zoom. And you're welcome to join the watch party. But that's all I got. Do anybody got any questions? Chris, you said something? Chris. Could have swore I heard something. He might be playing his game. I could have swore I heard something.
I heard the doorbell.
You heard a doorbell?
Yeah.
You did?
No, on the Zoom. Uh-oh.
I don't know. Maybe heard the doorbell when Steve was coming into the Zoom. I don't know. I didn't think y'all could hear that. Somebody told me y'all couldn't hear that when it be happening. But when you said you heard the doorbell, I was because sometimes like people be delivering stuff, they'll ring the doorbell and throw it on the porch. And that's like right outside this wall that I'm sitting next to. And so that's why I was like, you heard a doorbell? And that's why I went and looked. Cause
it sounded like the Zoom doorbell.
They'll be like, they don't, and just throw stuff down. And I thought I heard something, and I was thinking they might have thrown something on the porch because they be slinging stuff. They come right there. Sometimes they don't ring the doorbell. Oh, they just beat on the door real hard. Like, man, if you don't start bamming on my door and just rest my package. All right. So that's that. With that weird thing there. Did y'all hear it that time? Did y'all hear it? Oh, y'all did. Oh, so yeah, that's what y'all be hearing. Y'all, that's what you heard last time then. But somebody told me one time they couldn't hear that. I'm like, do y'all hear the doorbell when it rang? And people were like, no, I don't hear no doorbell. Okay. All right. That's it, everybody. Appreciate y'all for hanging out, man. About to watch those videos that Michael posted. If you want to join me on that, click on the link that's pinned to the top description up there. And join me on Zoom for the watch party. If not, I'll see you tomorrow at 6 for the price action recap. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend, and stay safe out here in these trading streets. Come on in here, Venus. I know your name. I done moved some. I don't know. Oh, there it is. It just look different right now.